Through you, Council President. The reason a lot of the questions that I believe we spoke before have not been answered is because those answers are not developed yet. I believe the freeholders have stated that once the plans have been developed, there will be a public meeting specifically for the park project, and there will be an opportunity for residents to come, ask questions, and get any answers. We can't tell answers that we don't know, and we're still in the planning process of that part, in conjunction with the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders. I believe that should be sometime in June that we should have a clearer idea.
We have said from this dais, and I have said on a number of occasions, there is no plan yet, and that is the truth. As for a meeting in June, as far as I know, and if there were one, I presume I would know, there is no meeting scheduled at this time in June. But, as we have promised, and I will promise you again tonight, when we have a formal plan on paper, there will be a public presentation to allow the public time to look at it and time to comment. And in fact, we hear your comments here week after week. We're not ignoring them, and we hear them, and we certainly understand your concerns, and nobody's ignoring them. But as we said, some of them we believe are based on misinformation, which, when there is in fact a plan presented, then we'll have something concrete to look at, and we certainly will listen to further comments from the public, excuse me, before we move ahead. So I don't know what the meeting in June is. Maybe there will be a meeting in June, but as far as I know, there's nothing scheduled now. There has been no final or preliminary plan put on paper. It will be, and we will give the public an ample opportunity to look at it and comment on it when the time comes. I've said that week after week, and I will continue to say it, and I stand by it, and it will happen that way. So thank you for your comments. Who's next?
Good evening. James Wysocki, Rahway. I would like to thank you guys for the fields. The kids deserve them, and we do appreciate it. My wife, Raquel.
We do appreciate it. The fields we play on are they're just terrible. And there's lots of injuries sustained to playing on those fields, and we really would like to give our kids the best, and the new fields would be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for comments.
And I guess they're talking about the same thing. I guess there are people who don't want a Rahway stadium in the park, and I assume these people, the soccer players, are for it, or that's the same piece of land they're talking about. And it just seems pretty bizarre. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it. But when these people who don't want the stadium come up and say, you tell them there's no plan, not even a preliminary plan. And when these other people who come up and say thank you for the stadium, they don't get the, we don't have a plan. I mean, it's presuming that you do have a plan to these people, but you have no plan to these people. It just seems odd. And I was at the Rahway council meeting on Monday, and it seemed pretty clear that they set up meeting. Maybe they didn't invite you, or maybe there were other people who are the decision makers, but it's definitely said there was something on Monday.
And I have to say, an individual comes to many of our meetings, and I kind of an attention seeker. But he's, talking about, the board acting imperial. And I want to say, in regard to the park, we appreciate those who come out and those who may not be supportive of the project, as well as those who are supportive of the proposed project. And we look forward to seeing those drawings and to having a public discussion regarding that field. I personally am supportive of the concept. I think it's going to be a great thing for that park. It's going to be a great thing for the kids and for the park as a whole. But we're going to have an opportunity to see what those plans look like. They're not done yet, but we will have them. There will be a public hearing so folks can learn about it. And I'm not sure we're going to change everyone's mind once that happens, but I think everyone has a better idea of what the long-term plan for that particular park is. But when we talk about acting imperial, we do hear concerns, and I have learned a bit from those individuals who are against that particular project, and people who come up on various issues. But we don't act imperial. We represent those who placed us on this dais to represent the best interests of Union County. We continue to do so, and there's nothing imperial about it. We stand for election, and we will vote as we see fit, and vote our conscience on the issues that matter to these county residents. And if others don't like it, they can feel free to pick up a petition and run for office. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.